For years, I was a quiet, aloof person. A silent soul clustered up behind a pair of glasses and a metal mouth. Up until sophomore year, I continued to be this person. That year, my whole life changed for the better. I discovered my niche in high school, a place where I finally belonged. I used to play volleyball, and I quit after my freshman year. Honestly, to this day, is the best decision of my life. Things there were unhealthy, to say the least, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Every day, we would run as a warm-up, but we would run what felt like entire practices and sometimes in extreme dangerous heat. We would run until our shirts were drenched in sweat and our feet exploded in fiery, painful blisters. We would run until our spirits were broken, smiles left our faces, and our bodies gave out and desperately screamed, "No more." We would run until we evacuated the contents of our stomachs, our visions blackened, and we collapsed. And even after all this, we would be told to run, keep running, and don't stop. During these warm-ups, I was positioned in the very back of everyone else, the caboose, so to speak. And one day, as our coach yelled us to pick up the pace, I shuffled my feet faster until I began to feel my chest collapse in itself. Like my ribs were snapping and two giant hands were clutching my windpipe and squeezing out whatever oxygen was in my lungs, making them burn with every constricted breath. My eyes watered and blurred my vision, and soon enough the air could not find its way into my body. My breath became dry, shallow, and raspy. Like any sane person in its situation, I stopped running, but was only met with commands to keep running, keep running, keep running. I don't recall what happened next, but I remember waking up in the athletic training room. I had never been to this place before. From my examination table in the corner, I observed students and athletes interacting with each other. It was a hectic place. Athletes of every sport were cramming into this small room, receiving care just visibly. Students carried coolers, ice bags, and assisted in rehabilitation. Just as I was beginning to really examine my surroundings, a female student on my right handed me a bag to breathe into. For those few seconds I was looking around, I had totally forgotten all about volleyball with my nasty teammates and my demanding coach. As I became more conscious of my condition, I became increasingly panic-stricken about the practice I had abandoned across the hall. I was so worked up, I was shaking and tears rolled on my face, and I just couldn't calm down because I was terrified that my coach would be livid and my teammates would torment me for weeks for having an asthma attack. The female student who gave me the bag to breathe into grabbed another upperclassman they sat on beside me. He told me my coach should not be upset, and it was wrong of my teammates to do those things to me. They said I didn't have to go back to practice until I felt better. I didn't return to practice that day. I remained in the athletic training room, and ultimately I found myself smiling while getting treated. Just sitting in there, doing absolutely nothing at all had me smiling. I couldn't remember a time at volleyball practice that I would genuinely smile. I had a realization that day. My own teammates, girls I'd known for years, did not care enough about me to come in and see me or check to see how I was doing. And they never would. However, the students in the training room did. Complete strangers seemed to care more about me than the people I spent hours with each week. I finished out that season of volleyball, my last season. I left as a conference champion, though I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. I packed away my knee pads, my jersey, and all the destructive memories I gained that year. But with complete honesty, it was a hard decision to quit. I loved that sport so much, and I couldn't imagine myself not playing for the rest of high school. But I also couldn't imagine myself playing with the same callous tormentors for another 3 grueling years. So, that same timid girl with the metal smile and 4 eyes returned the summer before sophomore year to the same building where, just months before, she hated being at. Although this time, she went across the hall and entered a door to a new beginning. That day changed my life. I had finally found a place where I belong, a place where bullies did not exist, and a place where I smile every day. I became a student athletic trainer, and 3 years later, here I am, a varsity captain. That room is my sanctuary, my home for hours after school, and my escape from the rest of the world. Those people inside the room are my secondary family, and I trust them with my life. By the time I graduate, I will have spent over 2,700 hours working, not including long football games, weekends, and summers. In my 3 years, I've discovered my passion for science and the human body, and I plan to pursue this in college. You see, student athletic trainers are more than just those kids who sit in that one room and hand out ice bags, or those kids who haul around the football team's stuff. We are the listeners of your woes, the healers of your wounds, the backstage worker to your performance, and the solver of puzzles. We take the damaged, the pained, and the dejected and make them whole. We put them back together. Our small group is a family, one that strives for acceptance and where you're not rejected based on your skill level or appearance. Just like the upperclassmen who helped me 3 years ago, I now aid others. I put people back together. And so, as my final year here at Nico Valley comes to a close, as I reflect back on all the experiences I've gained, I cannot think of anything to say but 2 words. Just 2 simple words. Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Monis, Mr. Aquila, Mr. Florence, Katie, Rain, to all my teachers. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, for encouraging me when I did not believe in myself, and for being some of my most important role models. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for giving me a purpose. And for everything you've done, I sincerely cannot thank you enough. To my fellow student athletic trainers, thank you for being some of my best friends, for listening, for healing. Thank you for 3 amazing years. Of laughter, endeavors, and pure enjoyment. You guys are truly amazing. Don't you ever forget it. And remember, don't go having too much fun when I'm gone. Everyone needs a trainer, athlete or not. If you're a softball player or a high jumper, you know where to go to get a bag of ice or a foam roller. But where do you go when you can't keep up with your homework? Who do you turn to after a bad breakup to put you back together? My message is not that everyone should become an athletic trainer, because it's not right for every personality. I'm telling you the story, my story. Because when I was a freshman, I was broken. And someone put me back together. Someone made me realize what it really means to be healthy, to be whole. If I've learned anything in that room, it's that everyone deserves to be healthy.